Warning, the following podcast may occasionally contain strong language and material that is not suitable for all ages. If you are easily offended, it is highly advised that you turn back now. However, if you're a degenerate, welcome, brethren. You've found your home.
Welcome to the Crime Diner, home of the satire. Can I take your order? We are a podcast that covers stories of true crime, mysteries, and all things creepy in nature. We do this within a dinner with friends theme. I'm Nydia.
I'm Dana.
And I'm Cindy.
So last week on the Crime Diner, I told y'all the story of Christopher Porco. That was a meaty episode.
Can't stand it.
He was a cautionary tale of how gentle parenting can sometimes go way, way wrong.
Now, I had a whole week to digest that story.
Yes.
I had been thinking, why did you suggest pork for the title or for the theme?
Right.
And I initially, when the food was being revealed, I thought this was going to be a cannibalism story. I didn't realize it was a pun on his last name.
Right.
So it literally took me a whole week to get that. And then I was like, very clever, my friend.
If you're looking for that episode and you just want to get caught up on the podcast in general, that episode is called Porco, the Other White Meat.
You're very pleased with yourself, aren't you?
I mean. So if you want to check that out.
If you've ever been interested in where the titles of these episodes come from, it is straight out of the brainstem of Nydia. All of the thought process happens right in Nydia's brain. So that's where these clever pun titles come from.
Some of them were a reach.
Some of them have been a reach, and some of them are so on point that I just live for them.
Some of them have extremely high downloads.
Yes.
Simply because I called an episode Hard Nipple Halloween.
Right.
And right around all the romantical holidays, we get a spike and listens to that.
Yeah, it's so weird.
There are some very disappointed listeners out there. Yeah. So listen, if you'd rather suck a fart out of a paper bag than listen to us ramble on, I want to remind you that we now have
timestamps
for your convenience.
This week I'm going to tell you a story about a man named Jason who went to Reddit for some relationship advice and everything that ensued after that.
Okay. This week on the episode, we are joined by a fourth host.
Yeah, my cat is in here.
Ashton, the beautiful Ashton. I mean,
the supermodel cat of
it's the supermodel cat who has 4 digits, has an extra digit.
He's extra, yeah. More than 4.
Yeah, more than 4. How many?
Yeah. He's got 2 extra on one hand and 1 extra on the other.
I mean.
Yeah, he's a polydactyl cat.
I've got to say, he has a girlfriend on Twitter called Nelly Furtado. And just as fluffy as him, just like him. The owner is from How to Spot a Killer podcast.
Okay.
And I said,
"You're matchmaking my cat up, are you?"
I said, "I've got your boyfriend. Here's action for you." And I sent her a picture, and she's like, "Yes."
Oh, that's so funny.
Ashton's Tinder picture is fucking. I'd date him. I'd swipe right on that.
He's very open and honest in that picture about his body positivity.
Oh, I mean, yeah, he's polydactyl.
Yes, he is. He's come to play.
He's packing.
Yeah.
So anyway, So Dana's going to tell us that story, but first, the food. Let us pray. Bless us, O patrons, for these thy gifts, which we are about to receive from thy donations through Patreon every month under the power of the V podcast
cult.
Oh, stuffed shells.
But not stuffed shells.
There's mushrooms in there.
So it's some sort of stuffed shells, but not with the red sauce and cheese. It looks like
Nydia took a bite.
She's terrible. Mushrooms, what's in it?
So it is a cheesesteak stuffed
shit.
Oh, shit.
Oh, my God.
Shells, yes. And the title says marinara sauce, and whoever created the recipe must not know what marinara sauce
Definitely
is.
no marinara sauce.
Because it's a cheese sauce for, cheesesteaks.
Yeah.
So that's what I made.
All right, I'm into it.
This is like as if you took a cheesesteak and stuffed it into a shell.
Perfect. I can't wait.
Oh my gosh, so delicious.
All right, here we go. Cheesesteak stuffed shells. Yes, fucking please.
Listen, I have been tantalized.
It's on, bitch.
It was like a cheesesteak without the bread.
Yeah.
In a fucking shell, pasta shell.
So my friend is, my very best friend since I was a teenager, is a vegetarian. And she does not eat meat. And never has, since I've known her, since we were little kids. But we would get, cover your ears, Mom. We would get high when we were teenagers. Just once or twice. It wasn't a big thing.
Once or twice.
And so we would order a cheesesteak, and I would scrape all the meat out, and she would eat the bread, and I would eat the meat. She liked the flavor of it, but she wouldn't eat actually any of the meat.
That's a good trade-off. Yeah, also, she's a hypocrite.
Yeah, she would put French fries in the bun. Whatever.
Wow.
That sort of reminded me of that without, eating the cheesesteak without the bun. But there was even a better vehicle, which is pasta, which thank you so much.
All of the vegetarianism, none of the health.
Right, that's exactly right.
That's what she was going for. But this
is good.
All of the carbs, all of the gluten.
Yes.
All of the fucking
cheesy sauciness.
All of it.
I love it so much.
Yes. And my heart is like, you motherfucker.
Yeah, because there's still 5 or 6 in there, which I could fully, without a question, finish off that whole tray. I'm not going to do it because
I might fight you for it.
I'm not going to do it because I am anticipating dessert. I tasked Cindy with a challenge for this episode.
No.
Yes.
You didn't tell her about the shells, though.
I didn't. My only, we present a theme for the episode. Yeah. My theme this week was for her to pick her recipes and drinks and everything from Reddit.
Oh, okay, all right.
So is that how you got here?
That's how I got here. Everything's from Reddit. From the drinks to the meal to the dessert that we'll be having.
Well, thank you fucking Reddit. One, I am drunk.
This drink is phenomenal. What is it?
Oh my God.
It feels like there's pomegranates in there.
It is not. It is blackberry, basil, according to the recipe, margarita. But when you have Reddit and you read everybody else's comments, you change it up. And because I didn't have tequila at home, well, I had good tequila and I wasn't using that for this.
You piece of shit.
I actually used rum, which somebody had recommended, and make it kind of like a mojito.
I am picking leaves out of my tea. I am so fucking drunk.
Fucking good, though.
She made it in a mason jar.
Yeah.
And she was like, here, sip on it. And me, I'm like, immediately no. I'm going to drink the whole thing in one guzzle.
Yeah, which you did. It's almost gone.
It's a challenge for me. I'm at the leaves. There's a bunch of leaves at the bottom of my glass.
It's fantastic. And it's real trouble because I could drink tons of this. This is really, really, really tasty. And refreshing. It's nice and cold with all the ice.
I'm your cautionary tale.
Yeah, what else is new?
It's so good.
I do appreciate that she brought it in a mason jar.
I would have never guessed blackberry.
No, I wouldn't either. But now that your drink is empty, I can see all the blackberries. So
yeah. Also, Ashton had to chime in.
Had to talk about it. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I do appreciate the mason jars because last week I was talking about how I was going to she-man my kitchen and I was going to fix it.
Yeah.
And just a little kitchen update. We won't dwell on it, but I can't fix the kitchen.
Dana's kitchen is covered in mold.
It's fully into my living room. It's probably a 10-foot by 10-foot radius of black mold. It's
a whole
so
tear
bad.
down.
So I had to call the insurance company and we're replacing it. But yeah, so
in the meantime, we're eating dinner next to Ashton's kitty litter box.
Yeah, we had to bring all of his food and his cat accoutrement into my bedroom, which is very annoying because in the middle of the night I hear in his litter box, which is so fun.
This has been fun.
Yeah. So during the week, Cindy texted us and she said, I have a story to tell. Yeah. So go ahead, Cindy.
Let's set the scene. Retirement party at work.
Why am I laughing?
That's a cat.
Ashton's fucking laughing.
He's already laughing.
So retirement party at work. Me and 2 other people are servers so that nobody's touching the ladles and all of that. The one lady turns to the other lady, tells them I'm in charge because I'm very particular about food safety.
Okay.
So everybody's come in gone through once. They're sending people in for a second time. Mind you, the three of us have yet to plate our own food.
Okay.
So I'm hungry.
This is tragic.
Yes.
I'm fucking pissed for you already.
This is where I start to get territorial.
Yeah. You're like,
Okay.
stop. I'm going to plate my own food and set it off to the side.
Right. Well, I was hiding
Amazing.
I was hiding a piece of sausage under the peppers and onions.
Where else would you hide a piece of sausage?
I got something for that ass.
So I walk away for a quick second to discuss something with somebody else. And again, I am very territorial about who grabs everything. Where there's people serving you.
Yeah.
So
Wait
stop
a
it.
minute. This was at work?
This is at work.
Why were you serving food? What?
Because people don't know how to wash their hands, and I said what I said.
What was happening? Like, what was the event?
It was a retirement
Party.
Oh.
I set the scene.
She said a whole scene. How about you stop drinking?
All right, whatever. You know what I could really use? One of them cocaine-laden
Pineapples?
pineapple. Wake me right up.
Yeah, really.
Go on.
So I turn around, and one of the ladies is fully grabbing the ladle to serve herself.
She about to steal your sausage?
And it didn't even matter. There was enough.
Yeah, okay.
But she's serving herself, and I fully walk over, and I double tapped her hand like she was a child.
No, you didn't.
I fully did. Like, I swung once, and instead of just stopping there, I swung again and
No, you
double tapped
didn't.
her. And I fully didn't realize until after the second time that I slapped her hand and the sausage rolled over into the garlic knot tray. And I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with me? And I'm like fully apologizing to this lady who's also a friend. She's a friend. But I'm apologizing to her. And the lady next to me, who's kind of like a grandma, she's like, what is wrong with you? You better apologize. Because she didn't hear me apologizing. And at this moment, I realize how wrong I am. And I am fully sweating. Like, I am fully sweating. At this moment, the lady's like looking like a child that just got spanked.
Oh,
which
no.
basically she was a child. Like, I treated her like a child that got spanked. And she's touching her hand, like rubbing it out, like where I slapped her twice. Because you could fully hear that I slapped her hand across the whole
I can't
conference
believe you
room.
smacked somebody at work.
And she looked at me with the saddest. I said, "Did you want more?" After I served her, and after she walked away, and I'm like, "Okay, I'm gonna plate my food and just walk away."
would've
At this
quit.
point, I plated myself, walked away, put myself at my thing, and then fully went hunting for her because I'm like, I've got to go apologize.
Yeah.
And we are friends, so I gave her like 2 or 3 hugs, and I'm like, apologize. She's like, "Girl, I can never be mad at you." I was like, I did the Spanish thing, which is sana sana culito de rana. Nydia knows all about that when you hurt somebody. At one point, we were laughing about it in the conference room, but I'm like, I was fully sweating, and I went to my desk, hiding for a while, and I'm texting Danny. I'm like, "What the fuck is wrong with me? What the fuck is wrong with me? What?" And I'm saying this multiple times, and Danny's like, "What did you do?" And I proceed to tell her, and all she's doing is laughing on the phone.
So you basically beat somebody that you work
hit a
with
coworker.
I hit a
physically
coworker.
assaulted a coworker.
Physically assaulted a coworker
over a sausage that you
over
had
a sausage.
that you had your eye on.
No, I hid mine. She wasn't grabbing that one.
Oh, so
In general, her touching the food.
Over her just putting her hands on the ladle.
Oh my god,
Damn
that's
it.
fucking hilarious.
I am very strict. Sadly, I should disclose this tiny bit of information. That is not the first time I did that to a coworker. The first time was a gentleman that also retired recently.
The food stealer?
And a different person.
okay.
No, that one got fired.
Oh, okay.
But I had turned around and I said, "I'll be right there to serve you." And he proceeded to grab the ladle anyway. And I walked over. I said I would be right back. And I smacked his hand.
Oh my god.
They did not give a damn about me smacking his hand. They cared about the other one hitting.
Perfect. I
In
can't
all
believe
fairness-
you smacked someone's hand at work. That's so funny.
in all fairness, if we only shared that story on Patreon.
Yeah. The food stealer.
Yes, that's a Patreon.
Cindy had a coworker that was stealing people's lunches and even stole a whole ass rotisserie chicken right out of the refrigerator. Right. First of all, I have 2 quips about that.
Yeah.
Who brings a rotisserie chicken to work?
I have a friend that brings one every week.
They need to stop.
Truly, yeah.
And 2, who steals it? Like,
right. I mean, I could see him getting his hand smashed.
That's 2 ends of the psychopath spectrum.
To be fair, I love a rotisserie chicken.
Not for work, Dana. That's a whole lot of meat.
That's a lot for work, yeah.
That's a meat that you share.
He was sharing. He was sharing,
with
remember?
Himself.
With everyone else but the person that actually brought the rotisserie chicken.
That's the kind of quality story you get on Patreon.
That's right. That was just a sneak preview of the stuff we talk about on Patreon.
So that brings me to our church. Here we break bread. We share this with our loved ones. We share the good gospel of not getting taken to the second location. Mm-hmm. And it's about that time, folks. We're passing the collection plate.
It's shilling hour.
Shilling? Listen, we need your support. We want to further our ministry. We're looking for tithings in the form of Patreon sponsors, Buy Me a Coffee link supporters. You can do that too. Listen, Ashton is just going to share.
I'm sorry, the cat is just part of the podcast.
Yeah, he is part of the podcast now. We're also looking for missionaries. If you don't want to be a supporter in the form of tithings, maybe wait till tax season.
Right.
If you want to be a missionary, you can spread the word about our podcast. It's simple, really. All you have to do is share the word, the good word of our podcast.
From the good book, yeah.
With 3 others, and you'll be blessed. Post it to social media. Do whatever you will with it. So let's bless these good, well-meaning folks.
We're praying again?
We're praying again. We're blessing their tithings.
Okay, all right. Lots of prayer on this podcast.
Tithings or missionaries. You can be either. You can be both. Whatever your heart sees fit to do.
All right.
God, I ask that you bless the offerings we are about to receive, and may the people ignoring the plea not be harmed this week, but definitely next week.
Definitely next week.
Podcast.
Blasphemy.
We have muffins. We have something muffin shaped in paper.
They have leaves sticking out of them.
No, they don't.
They kind of do.
What is it?
It's lemon thyme muffins.
Oh, lemon thyme muffins. Your favorite. Don't start your nonsense.
Don't be mad at these muffins because you're mad at your meringue that you had that one time that made you angry at all lemon
meringue
desserts.
Cake was that meringue pie or whatever that was. It was
beautiful.
So good. Yeah, it was good as hell too.
It was a supermodel.
Hey man, sober up muffins. Sober up cakes? They're sober up cakes.
They were sober up cakes.
I liked them.
They did not work on Nydia.
They did not work on Nydia. They failed their task to sober her up, but I think they're tasty.
They were definitely intended to sober us up, I feel. What's in them?
They're muffins with lemon juice and lemon zest.
And thyme.
And thyme. I made like a drizzle, which I poured on top of them.
Yeah.
With thyme, and so you get a little thyme.
Like a Simply Syrups situation?
Kind of like that.
Because it was the top of the sober up cakes were a little moist.
Uh-huh.
Almost like a little Debbie cake or something. You know when you get those cakes where they you peel them off and they're a little bit moist underneath.
Yes.
And you're like, how old are these? But they're so good. That's what they kind of had that same sensation. I was like, she must have poured something on top of it.
I don't know what she poured on them, but everything is like happiness in my mouth, and it's so good. And that cake, I could eat 3 more like those.
I think you should.
Probably.
I think you definitely should.
I need to sop up some of this alcoholism that I have in my veins.
I think you're doing great, friend. You've had a kick going for 2 weeks now. God. And we didn't get to squeeze it into last week's episode, but you are really, really obsessed with...
I am upset.
You're obsessed with owl legs.
The other day, I came across a TikTok or a meme or something. I just came across it. And it's been haunting me ever since. Fucking owl legs, right? So when you see an owl, you think it's 2 little like feet sticking out of the bottom feathery part, right?
Of this grandiose, like
just,
regal, wise bird. Yes.
Like the smartest bird of birds, right? The owl.
The owl. The bird of knowledge.
The bird of knowledge.
Have you seen Winnie the Pooh? Move on. Just keep going.
Yeah, well, there is an owl, right?
Yes.
So fucking owls, when you lift their feathers, their skirt
up,
their feather skirt,
yeah,
if you will,
yes,
they have legs all the way up to their neck, bro. It's the fucking.
They're like human legs with bird feet.
Oh no! They're
like a gym bro that missed leg day. Like their legs are so thin.
It's violent. It's
Google it. Do yourself a favor and Google it.
So, an average owl is about 15 inches tall.
Okay.
Right? 2/3 of that fucking 15 inches is legs. They have fucking legs for days.
Cindy just keeps popping up with pictures of birds.
They have fucking hella creepy legs, and they're really skinny legs. Like, they're not meaty, thick legs. They're fucking runway model legs. They're just skinny. Listen, look it up. I'm shook. You know,
it's their shame. That's why they cover it up with feathers.
That's why they cover it up.
Yeah.
Cindy keeps showing me pictures. It's a whole lot of nope.
Yeah.
And you know there's an owl that's like as tall as people, and they say that's the reason why, like, some people say that. You remember that movie? I forget what the fuck it's called, but it's like all these people had a nightmare. They kept like getting visions.
It's called The Fourth Kind.
Wait, The Fourth
Is it an
Kind?
alien movie?
Yes.
Yeah, it's called The Fourth Kind.
It was probably one of the... No, I don't think it's called The Fourth Kind.
I promise you it's called The Fourth Kind because I have not, as an adult, been more freaked out by a movie.
I'm looking it up.
And they keep, like, having a vision of it. There it is. There's the owl, yeah.
It is The Fourth Kind.
Yeah, no shit. That movie freaked me out as, like, a 30-year-old where I was like, oh, this movie's fucked up.
I know.
And we talked about it on the podcast, actually.
Have we?
Yeah.
Dude.
Yeah.
So some people think that the people that... Because this is based on a true story. Some people think that the people that came forth in this Fourth Kind movie, that they saw this owl, this special type of owl.
Do you know what The Fourth Kind is, though, right?
It's a movie about, like, people that went under hypnosis or whatever and told the same story about this owl. About
an alien.
About an alien abduction.
Yeah, it's like the Close Encounter of the Fourth Kind, like where you've actually, like, been abducted by aliens.
Right.
Right.
And so... people say,
they think it's because of the alien.
They saw the owl,
right? Because I think they're in Alaska. That movie's set in Alaska or whatever,
right? And those owls live out there, and they're like 5 feet tall, 4 feet tall, whatever the hell they are. They're taller than the
and they have
bird.
a scary ass face,
and they have legs for days.
Yeah, they're like strutting their stuff with their skinny ass legs on the catwalk.
That's right.
On the catwalk. That's right.
Yeah. So. If you look at one of those owls and you saw them, like say you're out drinking, you're walking home because you shouldn't be driving when you're drinking.
Yes.
And so you're seeing that, you would absolutely think that was an alien trying to
because they have those like deep set eyes. And they're like little, just like what you would think like if you were to draw a cartoon alien. Yeah, that movie's freaky as shit.
Yeah.
Well, something a little less freaky.
Okay.
Is my story. But it is not great.
It's not without freak.
It's not without freak.
Got it.
Do you want to hear it?
Addiction. Noun. The fact or condition of being addicted to a particular substance, thing, or activity. An overwhelming compulsion. What makes us fall into the world of drugs and addiction? Why can some of us dabble in the illicit and walk away unscathed, while others of us travel downward into the deep spiral of addiction? Humans have always had a fascination with the allure of getting high. Our obsession with drugs isn't a new societal epidemic, but one that has its roots dating back to the ancient days of mankind. While the drugs we utilize to try and get high nowadays may have shifted, our fascination with the darkened path of addiction has not changed. If you or a loved one have been struggling with addiction, or have in the past, and would like to share your story, please feel free to reach out to me via social media or through email at juryroompodcast@gmail.com. This is Addicted, a Jury Room production. Coming soon to wherever you listen to this podcast.
Today I got my story from digitaltrends.com, independent.ie/world news, 3 archived posts from Reddit, obviously, Wikipedia, and ajc.com. What is your knowledge of Reddit? Do you go on there? Do you comment on forums? Like, what's your deal with Reddit?
I go on Reddit anytime that I want to, like, see another side of a story that I'm researching.
Okay.
You know, usually on Reddit, you'll find somebody that was, like, their neighbor or something,
right.
You know, that, like, wants to chime in. So, yeah, I go on Reddit just to see what the pulse is, you know, what people are thinking about a story.
I tend not to go on Reddit much. Usually when there's a link to Am I the Asshole?
Yeah, that's a great forum.
I'm one of those. I will read one of those stories. Also, I finally went on there. I made my own avatar and everything, so I was a little excited about that. And just looking for recipes.
Okay.
My wife
Reddit?
is... Yeah. But literally just for today, that's the only reason why I knew. My wife is obsessed with Reddit.
Okay. She may know this story then. This is very popular on Reddit. For those of you who don't spend every waking moment on the internet, Reddit is a site that bills itself as the front page of the internet. As of July 2021, Reddit is the 7th most popular website in the United States and 19th most popular in the world. It's a massive collection of forums where people can share content and comment on other people's posts, which kind of sounds like Facebook, but less personalized and more organized, in my opinion.
Oh, okay.
Obviously, I know what I'm talking about.
I mean, you're the resident Reddit expert.
That's fair. Out of the 3 of us, I think that's probably fair. So Reddit's broken up into more than 1 million different communities, known as subreddits, and each of them covers a different topic. The topics are literally everything you could possibly imagine, from true crime, cleaning tips, movie, TV discussions, politics, whatever your little heart desires, you can probably find a subreddit for it. The name of the subreddit starts with a lowercase r and a slash, and then whatever the subreddit might be called, or it might be the discussion about, right?
Oh, really?
So
I didn't know this.
Yeah, so you'll see like r/ blah blah blah, whatever.
Oh.
r/ true crime, r/
Oh, shit, I didn't know that.
Yeah. So when you see that, that means it's from a Reddit forum.
So it's like TikTok, but without the video part, just the reading part.
Yeah, sort of. Or like Twitter.
Right,
or it's just like a forum, right?
Right.
So some subreddits that I can suggest that you might really enjoy.
Me personally.
You understood. You the listener, you know?
Oh, the listener, not me.
Anybody. Some subreddits I can suggest for you that you might really enjoy. Why, I thought you'd never ask.
Wait, I didn't ask.
r/trees sucking on things. And it's just like images of trees that have like grown over like inanimate objects.
Wait, this is literally trees sucking on things.
It's like a tree that like has grown over like a deck railing and somebody put googly eyes on it. It's so fun. Here's another one that was another picture that was on the trees sucking on things. It's like a lemon that grew over another lemon. We'll share these too because this is so funny. So there's another site that I think a little less funny but a little more visually pleasing. Okay. It's called Unstirred Paint. And it's just like images of paint before it's mixed in the can.
Oh my god.
And it's just like really pretty images of like...
What the...
You know when they pour the color into the white paint but before they...
That is so visually satisfying.
It really is, yeah.
What the hell? Unstirred paint,
yeah.
Huh?
So it delves into like, you know, the paint cans before, like at Sherwin-Williams or wherever.
Literally something for everyone.
Yeah, there's another one that doesn't come with a picture. It's just mostly like talking forums. Okay. It's called Reddit I Don't Work Here Lady. And this is right. right up my alley because it constantly happens to me on a semi-regular basis. And this is a forum where people share tales of retail stories where they go into businesses, but people think they work there.
Right.
And usually they're irate and they like scream at random strangers. They're like, I don't work here, lady.
Yeah.
I just found that so funny.
I've done that to people.
No.
I've done that to people so many times.
So what does this have to do with my story today?
Right.
I'm going to tell you about a guy who posted on Reddit, on the subreddit Relationship Advice, and his username was Jason in Hell.
Jason in Hell?
Yeah. So I'm going to read you his post and some of the upvoted comments, and we'll discuss from there, and then we'll move on, okay?
Okay.
So what happens is, when you make a post, then people can vote on it, up or down, and then the more posts that you get...
The more ups.
Upvoted that you
Right.
get. Like, it gets seen more. Right, exactly. So this post is titled, I'm 30 male, having a hard time coping with my wife, 29 female, having cheated on me with our neighbor, 51 male.
That's
Okay.
a lot of years.
Yes. So, TLDR, which means too long didn't read. And so if you see that on like a Facebook post or something, that's going to be like a long...
Right.
TLDR means too long didn't read. And then it's usually just like a blurb about what all of it's about to be. So that's, you'll see that a lot.
Wait, so why would you do TLDR?
Because some people don't want to read the whole thing.
Right,
But
so
they
they
just want to read
summarize
like
it?
a little summary, like a sentence or two. Okay.
Oh.
So his says TLDR, I caught my wife cheating on me over a year ago. I stayed with her for the sake of our children, but I haven't been able to get it off my mind since. And then it goes into his post. And this is a little bit long, so bear with me. It has been 476 days since I confronted her about it. How do I know? Because every time I catch myself thinking about it, I say to myself, it's only been X days. Maybe tomorrow you won't think about it. So to go back to the beginning, I had just taken on a new project and new responsibilities at work. I was working a lot of hours, 60 plus per hours a week, and was noticeably stressed. It was in May 2015, and I noticed that she had added a password to her phone. When confronted about it, she told me it was because she was planning a Father's Day present and she didn't want me to ruin the surprise. About a week later, she came to me and said that she felt guilty about keeping a big secret from me and told me that she was having our neighbor, a contractor, build a home office for me as a present. It struck me as odd. In our 6 years together, she had never felt guilty about anything and always insists that she never regrets anything in her life. Time goes on and her phone is still password protected and things don't feel right. I see her using her phone and smiling to herself more and more often. But when I ask her what she's doing, she says nothing and puts her phone away. So one morning, I wait for her to get in the shower and I grab her phone before it requires the password. I go through her message and I find that she's texting our neighbor. And the text message says, I'm all covered in frosting. You want to lick it off?
No.
There were no other messages to the neighbor, but I found out later that that was because she had set up her phone to delete the messages after a certain amount of time. I felt uncomfortable with it, but I knew that she had a perverted sense of humor, and I thought she would never do anything to hurt me.
Fuck all the way off. That's naughty.
More time goes by, and the neighbor is spending more and more time at our house, but the office is being completed slower and slower. I can't help but worry that something isn't right, so I start checking her location using Google Timeline.
She's just right next door, bud.
Yeah. So it was at this point I realized that there are large gaps in her GPS history because she is turning her phone's GPS off. Fast forward to July. At this point, the paranoia is driving me nuts. So I tell her that I need to install a new antivirus on her phone. While she has it unlocked for me, I install an anti-theft software, and I also remotely turn the GPS back on and set up AT&T message backup and restore so that I can read all of her text messages from that point to my computer.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. Oh, he's like an engineer or something. He's like a computer wizard.
Don't cheat on a computer with it.
Yeah. So the next day, my mother asked to spend time with my two kids, so my wife drops them off and she has the day to herself. I watch my wife's activity from work as she spends the day trying to meet up with the neighbor, but she is unsuccessful because he's busy at another job site. That night, we get the kids back from my mom's and we go out to dinner with the neighbor and his girlfriend and his son.
Wait, so the neighbor has a significant
girlfriend
other
and a kid.
And
Yeah,
a kid.
right.
Okay.
So my wife and his girlfriend are having a good time, drinking, laughing, and joking around.
Okay.
His girlfriend mentions that they should go see Magic Mike XXL. And I say that's a good idea. I'll watch the kids so my wife and her can go. So the neighbor and I go back to my house so the kids can play video games together. The kids are in my son's room playing video games, and the neighbor is sitting across from me on the other couch. It is at this point that my wife starts texting him. She's describing sex acts that she would like to perform with him, and he is reciprocating.
How does he know?
Because he's seeing it come up on his phone.
No!
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So she tells him to check his Snapchat. At the same time, I get a Snapchat from her too, and it's her fingering herself in the bathroom stall.
What?
She's sending him both of them?
He's receiving her message as well. He's intercepting her
But
messages.
I didn't know the snaps. That's why I
think
was
so,
like,
yeah.
Oh my word.
So they keep talking and trying to figure out when they can meet up to have sex. And they decide on Monday morning after I go to work. So in my head, I already plan to pretend to leave and circle back and catch them. But then they tell each other that they love each other. And it is all I can do to not leap off the couch and knock him out. Okay. So this motherfucker is sitting in his couch texting his wife. Okay, but let me go back to it. But I contain myself and continue to read the conversation unfolding in front of me. He tells her, "You're my girl now," to which she replies, "Always have been," and ending with him writing, "and always will be."
Dana looks at us and is waiting, and we're just silently shocked.
Yeah. So my wife and the neighbor's girlfriend return home from the movie, and I asked them politely to sit down. I asked the kids to stay in my son's room and shut the door. I return to the living room and confront my wife and the neighbor, and I say, "So you two love each other, huh?" My wife goes into full-blown denial mode, and the neighbor's girlfriend starts smacking him. I ask my wife, has she been texting him? And she says no. I show her the text messages, and she admits to it, but says it was the first time and that it had gone too far. So
Lies.
I ask my wife, has she sent him any pictures? She says no. So I show her the picture, and she admits it was, but it was the first time.
More lies.
Oh my God.
So I ask her if she's having sex with him, and she says no. And because I didn't wait to catch them having sex together, I didn't have the evidence to prove her wrong, so that one stayed unresolved.
This was enough.
Yeah.
Yes.
The whole fingering thing for me.
That's
enough.
way
Yeah.
too far.
In a
I
public
love you is
bathroom.
rough, too. I love you is rough.
Yeah.
So I tell her that I'm leaving her, and she tells me that she will make it so I can never see my kids again if I do. She planned on using the fact that I had attempted suicide in high school to prove me unfit to have the children.
In high school?
Right.
Girl.
Yeah.
That's too far.
Yeah. She continues to say that it was my fault for being too busy with work and stressed out, and that she wanted somebody she could talk to. Then she gives me an ultimatum to decide what I'm going to do, or she will decide for me.
What's the other girl doing?
The neighbor's girlfriend starts defending the two of them, saying that it couldn't have been that serious if they weren't having sex, and that my wife and I are too perfect for each other to let this break us up.
Oh, fuck no.
Yeah.
Oh, she's an enabler.
So the neighbors go home, and my wife and I argue for the rest of the night about what we are going to do. We go to bed separately, not having resolved anything. We keep going back and forth on the subject all weekend, and finally settle on that we are going to separate temporarily while we figure out what we want. I was going to stay in the house, and she was going to take the kids to her mom's house. That Monday, I go back to work, and I get a text from her in the middle of a meeting with my bosses stating that she has explained to our kids, but they were really upset and that I needed to explain it to them also. So when I get home from work, I find my kids crying. She told them that mommy had to move out because dad was mad at her. When my son wanted to stay with me, she told him that he can't. So my son put it together that if mommy has to move out because I'm mad at her, then he must be mad at him too. So my daughter is crying because my son was crying, and I don't think she was old enough to understand what was happening. It was in that moment that I realized she was going to drag my kids through hell if I left her. So I swallowed my feelings and begged her to stay. She agreed and insisted that I apologize to our neighbors since we were still going to need to hang out with them because our sons are good friends.
Yeah, no.
Right. I hate it, but I do it anyway. We still hang out with them from time to time, and they've come to various birthday parties and holidays.
Oh, there's so much.
Yeah, there's...
Oh, this is ugly.
But I do it for my kids, and I behave civil every time. Things die down for a while. I still think about it constantly. I worry how I can keep from making her so unhappy that she cheats on me again. Then, almost a year from the original incident, around Father's Day, she sends him pictures again.
Oh, no. Girl.
She claims it was an accident and she meant to send them to me instead. I don't fully believe her, but I move on. Things have been quiet for about 4 months now, but I still think about it constantly. This is going to sound stupid. I feel like I have part of my brain that I can't shut off. It's always thinking. I used to use that to solve programming problems, and it made me very good at my job. But ever since this incident, the only thing it thinks about is her and him and if I did the right thing. My job performance has suffered. I feel like I haven't gotten sleep in months. I'm afraid that after this much time and the fact that I begged her, that to say that I want a divorce now would only make her more vindictive towards my children and I. I just feel like I have put myself so deep in a hole that I can never back out. I haven't really talked to anyone about this. I don't want to talk to my mom because I feel like she would treat my wife differently, and I don't need them two fighting more than they already do. I tried talking to one friend, but his advice was for me to put my trust in God, and that was not much solace for me as I am an atheist. So I have no clue what to do with my feelings or how to move on from this.
So he's just like daily obsessing.
Okay. And as someone who has been cheated on and who really tried to salvage their marriage, I deeply, deeply, deeply feel what he is feeling. Like you're just like, I'll do anything. And the kids, like you can tell that she's going to be fucking terrible to their children.
Right.
In a way that's like, maybe I'll just take one for the team so that the kids don't have to witness how horrible this is going to be, because it's going to be so fucking ugly.
Yeah, I've never.
So the original post had over 250 comments, and I'll read the top few upvoted ones, okay?
Okay.
I cannot believe you stayed with her. I cannot believe you begged her to stay. I cannot believe you apologized to the neighbor.
Right.
You are trying to navigate this alone, and you should seek counsel ASAP. You should have done this months ago. Your wife's threats should hold no weight until you can get a professional legal opinion on your exposure in a divorce. You won't be doing your children any favors by remaining in a marriage that is now founded on lies, infidelity, and outright bullying. She made you apologize to your neighbor, and you did it? Come on, man. You can't honestly say that you see any sort of future here that isn't hell on earth for you. So for your sake and the sake of your children, get a lawyer ASAP. Follow his directions to the letter. There are at least 10 giant red flags. Dude's kids will someday understand the sacrifices he is making in his own life to keep them ignorantly happy. Oh, here's my personal favorite. Smack the shit out of that old man. Go get an attorney. I hope you saved all the evidence. And talk about the ways to get custody of her kids. Your wife is a twat.
She's definitely a twat.
And this is just, it goes on for 250 comments of like people generally being like, hey man, this is bad. This is a bad situation.
Yeah.
You need to get a lawyer. You needed to get one a year and a half ago.
Yeah.
You got to get out. This is so fucked up. And very supportive, but, in varying degrees of niceness.
I think the second comment was spot on.
Right, exactly. So what do you think so far? What would your advice have been to him had you seen this post on Reddit?
Seek counseling, number one.
Mm-hmm.
Just seek counseling, number one.
Know the law.
Seek the law.
Mm-hmm.
And number three, take a chance on how shitty she'll be as an ex-wife, because she's definitely ex-wife material.
Definitely, yeah.
And just take a chance. Kids are resilient,
Yeah.
I think first, lawyer counseling.
Yeah, like a therapist.
And then on top of that, hope and pray that basically cross your fingers that she's not as shitty to the kids as she's threatening to be.
Right.
Why lawyer first? I think counseling first, because maybe he wants to forgive her. People can get past that.
Fuck that bitch. Fuck that bitch.
I mean,
have self-worth.
Yeah.
No, I get it.
Fuck that cunt. And I said it, the C-U-N-T.
She certainly
See
did.
you next Tuesday.
So, yeah, I agree with you both. I think he's in a terrible position.
Yeah.
I think he's trying to do the right thing for his kids, but in a weak space, yeah.
But first you need to get your head straight, and then you need to say, okay, this is what I want to do.
I mean,
because if he wants to forgive her, plenty of people forgive them and move on.
Right.
And maintain a healthy relationship. Sure. But if you don't want to forgive, he can't forget.
He can't let it go.
Right.
Yeah.
So then maybe he needed to get that shit straight and then go get counseling.
That bitch, I bet, had another phone and she made the mistake of using the one phone to take pictures and send it to the man.
That would be dumb.
I bet she had another phone she was sending him pictures
Or maybe
with.
she didn't.
Maybe she's just an asshole.
She was
yeah.
still fucking the neighbor.
Yeah.
Maybe she's just a fucking asshole.
Maybe she was fucking 10 other people.
Ugh.
Nasty bitch.
So after you Cindy's mad and you don't even have a third of the story yet. It's so
gosh.
fucked.
Does it twist? Does it turn?
So after he makes this post asking for advice, he gets a ton of it.
I bet.
You know, he makes an update. I don't know the time between it because these posts are archived in a way that you have to use like the Wayback Machine to get it. Like it's not even, it's a
Wayback Machine?
Yeah, like you have to go to this like website to get old archived
No.
posts. Yeah, because it's been taken down.
Oh.
So he makes a post.
Okay.
And it's just a short one and said, instead of trying to fix something she doesn't want to fix, she has refused counseling several times in the past, even before this event happened. I'm going to get myself and my kids out. I meet with an attorney next week. Thank you everyone for helping me see how far I had my head up my own ass. So here are some of the top comments. Thank fucking God. So many guys out here never get their heads out of their asses. Good for you. Find a good woman. They're out there. Good for you and good luck. Remember that life on the other side of this will be far better for both yourself and your children. And let that hope keep you going when things get rough. I remember you. You're doing the right thing. Good luck. My only advice would be not to tell her what's going on until she's handed the divorce papers. So the thing about the internet is that you never really know what's true or not, right?
Right.
Exactly.
Oh, no.
There's twist. There's a twist.
So there are creative people out there that are just sharpening their writing skills just for fun or attention. Jason in Hell could have been any of that or all of it. This could all be a figment of anybody's imagination, right?
No, stop.
But that's not the case here.
Okay.
Jason in Hell is very real, and so is his situation.
Okay.
Jason Worley and his cheating wife, Brandi, live in Indiana with their 2 children. Their 7-year-old son, Tyler Daniel Clinton Worley, and their 3-year-old daughter, Charlie Rose Jean Worley. The couple had gotten married in August 2009, and clearly things were not going well. So that brings us up to early morning, November 17th, 2016.
Montgomery County 911, where's your emergency?
203 South Madison Street,
In what town?
Darlington.
Hey, what's going on there?
I just stabbed myself and I killed my 2 children.
Wait, what?
You stabbed yourself and killed your 2 children?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and what's your name?
Brandi Worley.
Brandi what?
Worley.
Okay. How do you spell your last name?
Worley.
And where are the children at?
In my daughter's room on the floor.
In your daughter's room on the floor? Okay.
I want to start crying.
I just wanted to play you a little bit so you can get a way for what she said. As she couldn't be more calm.
Right.
She could not be more calm. November 15th, Jason tells Brandi that he wants a divorce. November 16th, the family went together to their little 3-year-old daughter's dance recital. After the dance recital, Brandi went into Walmart in Crawfordsville, Indiana, saying that she needed to buy pipe cleaners for a school project for their son. But what she actually buys is a K-bar combat knife, which she would eventually use to murder her children that same night.
Wait. Time out. Is this for real? Mm-hmm. So it's not him that goes berserk.
No.
It's her.
Yep.
Wait, what?
When they got home, Brandi told Jason that he could sleep on the couch, but he decided he wanted to sleep in the basement instead. So he goes to bed, and Brandi tells Tyler to sleep in little Charlie's bedroom because they were going to have a slumber party. Mom, daughter, and son. Once the kids fell asleep, Brandi stabs Tyler in the neck multiple times, waking Charlie up. Charlie asks her mother what she's doing, and she says, "Go back to sleep, honey." And once she's killed Tyler, she stabs Charlie multiple times in her neck. She turns the knife on herself. While she was able to stab her sleeping children multiple times, she was only able to stab herself just the once. If You listen to the whole 911 call, which you can find on YouTube, and I will also link in the show notes. She says that she has taken a lot of Benadryl, which is why she later claims that her demeanor was so nonchalant. But after some preliminary testing, she had a regular dose of Benadryl in her system. She apparently had called her mother before she called 911, and her mother was on the way over but didn't know what happened. She knew that, I guess she called her mom, was like, I need you to get here, and then called 911.
What the fuck?
So
this whole time, he's in the basement, sleeping.
Yeah. The mother's screams, his mother-in-law, the grandmother of the children, her screams are what wake him up from the basement.
When she sees the dead children.
Yes. Yep. When Jason comes upstairs, the 911 operator hears her say, now you can't take my kids from me. Brandi Worley initially was admitted to Indiana University Health Methodist Hospital in Indianapolis to treat her self-inflicted injuries. And once her story hits the news, people from Reddit start to wonder, is this Jason from the Jason and Hell post? Because they see what his job is, they see he's from Indiana, and they're like, fuck, I think that's the guy. And as we know how all internet sleuths are, they quickly figure out it is him.
Oh, yeah.
And his Reddit posts become... like, the news starts posting his Reddit post, and yeah.
Dude, this is not at all how I expected this to happen. I thought that he was going to be the one to lose his ever-loving mind.
Same.
Girl, I am shook.
And the thing is, like, you feel so deeply for him.
Jesus, he was right. Mm-hmm. I thought he was going to fucking lose his mind on his wife, his cheating wife or whatever, irrationally. But it was the other way around.
Yeah, he was right.
Jesus Christ.
He was right. Originally, Brandi Worley pleads not guilty and had a trial scheduled. In January 2018, she pled guilty to murder. She was sentenced to 65 years for murdering Charlie and 55 years for murdering Tyler, and given a consecutive sentence of 120 years in prison. She did not speak during sentencing and did not offer an apology or an explanation. When handed down the sentencing, Judge Harry Siamas said that everybody wanted an explanation for the senseless murders, stating that it was extremely unnatural for a parent to kill their own child. He says, sometimes there's no explanation.
That's what makes it senseless.
Yeah, darkness is in this world, and it penetrates our minds and our hearts.
I mean, that's the whole very definition of senseless.
Truly.
Jesus Christ.
Jason Worley stated, all I care is to never see her again. Out of sight, out of mind. So we do get one more Reddit post from Jason.
Okay.
An update from Jason in Hell. TLDR, I am doing better.
What's TLDR?
Too long, didn't read.
Okay, got it. I still don't understand that, but...
I am doing better, and I continue to get better every day. And then it goes into his post. The first thing you may notice is that this is being posted from a different account. I deleted the Jason and Hell account in a knee-jerk reaction to seeing my Reddit posts in the news. I guess the first question to answer is, how am I doing? And to that I would say, I'm doing well. I have bad days, but I would think that that is to be expected.
His kids are dead.
Yeah. It's just as important that I or anyone going through something continue to use the support of friends or family as well as good coping skills to not let myself be completely defeated on those bad days. I won't lie, I struggled to get back to where I am. For some time, I refused to sleep because of a combination of fear of what I would wake up to and the nightmares about that night. For a time, I used alcohol to sleep, but my family loved me enough to take it from me before it became a damaging, permanent habit. I was hospitalized because I did have thoughts of ending my life because I missed my children so much. From that, I learned that you should never be ashamed of your mental health, and not seeking treatment will only make it worse, not better. We have all heard it, but if you or a loved one is struggling, seek immediate assistance. Your life is too important to be thrown away in a moment of weakness. By putting off treatment, I only caused everything else in my life to suffer. I lost my job and became a recluse to the house. But don't worry, I've been back to work since December, and I have nearly regained my former position and salary, and I am good and require no assistance. The second question would be, how do I feel about sentencing? That is something harder to answer, because no matter what the sentence, nothing will bring back my beloved children. Do I think she should have gotten the death penalty, which Indiana has? No, I don't. She wanted to die, and after 9 years of giving her what she wanted, when she wanted it, I was not going to give her another thing. Do I think a life sentence will have any appreciable effect on her? I don't know. One thing she always stressed for the entire time I knew her was that she lived her life without any regrets. Even after I caught her cheating on me, she continued to say that she had no regrets. As for the ex-in-laws, they continue to be a problem to this day. Shortly after everything happened, they changed the locks on the home I was renting from them with all of my property still inside. After trying to civilly negotiate the return of the property, it was required that I involve law enforcement. This is an ongoing legal battle. A member of the family has accused me of stealing property I had purchased from them prior to the death of the children and threatened to take action against me unless I paid double what I had already paid them. I alerted the authorities, and as far as I know, that is resolved. They continue to make visiting my children's grave difficult. During the 1-year anniversary, they sat in their truck and watched me the whole time while I was visiting their graves. Because of that, I don't visit the graves as often as I'd like to. If I can impart on you something that I've learned through all of this, it is that you should always take time to be with the ones you love. It doesn't matter if they're asking you to read The Pokey Little Puppy for the millionth time, or asking you to play Smash Bros, even though you both know they will wipe the floor with you every time. Just do it, because you never know if it will be the last time.
Are you gonna cry?
Always make sure they know how much you love them. I had the fortune that the last thing I ever said to my children was, I love you, good night, and I will see you in the morning. Some of the comments on this update. Jason, I live in Indiana. There is no drive too far for me to make. My husband is a gorilla of a man. If you ever need a couple of centuries to peacefully visit with your children, please reach out. My family and friends would be happy to block your view of them. You may also wish to consider an injunction against them to keep them a certain distance away from you, if you aren't comfortable with strangers there. This way, you can visit anytime, and you know they're not able to approach you. You could also get a cheap teepee and place it over the graves so that they can't see you while you visit. Thank you for taking time to update us and know how you are and speaking up about mental illness. I also live in Indiana. I am 6'3" and 300 pounds, former college football player, and I'll extend the same offer she did. I've got me a lot of friends and former teammates. If you don't want to be disturbed the next time you want to visit, I'll be there as quick as I can. I'm a small female Asian attorney. I'm just down 421. PM me anytime you want somebody to go with you. My heart goes out to you. So his job had put together a GoFundMe account because he lost his home. He lost everything.
Yeah, he lost everything.
They put together a GoFundMe account and raised over $50,000 for him. Her family did not stop being the absolute worst. And one of the other comments under that very last update from him, which also has been deleted, said, "Wow, that really teared me up. I wish I could give you a hug. It's shocking what your ex-wife's family is putting you through. One day they will face their judgment. Until then, don't let them get to you and carry on being the bigger person." And Jason responded, "Well, I don't know if I'm completely the bigger person. My ex-wife's mother expressed interest on reserving one of the plots next to the children so that my ex could be buried there. So I bought both plots on either side of the children to ensure that she could never be next to them when she passes." And that's the story of Jason and Hell from Reddit.
Jesus Christ.
She does not deserve any plots.
Hell fucking no.
Oh, she put them there.
Hell no.
Also, no wonder she became the person that she was with the family that she has.
Her family is the worst.
Ugh.
Could you imagine if your kid killed your grandkids and then you treated their other parent like shit?
Yeah,
when
it's almost
she
like
cheated on it,
they're blaming him for her doing that.
Again, hence the reason why she became the way she was.
They're enablers.
They thought she could do no wrong.
They're terrible people. They're terrible.
Oh my God.
I heard this story probably a year ago, and it like makes my stomach hurt to think about it. Like, it's so egregious.
Damn. Also, like, he fucking lost everything.
He lost everything. I don't know how he, through the cheating post and he always like remained really poised and calm, like
as much as you could be,
more than you could be, more than most people would be.
Yeah.
And like, I just don't know how he like gets up every day. That takes a strength that I just don't understand.
That's tough. Like, I don't know, as a mom, if my ex-husband killed my children, I'd be like, I don't think that I would want to continue to live.
I don't know how he does it.
Yeah.
I don't blame him for like really struggling.
Yeah.
Ugh, it makes my stomach, like, it makes me like sick to my stomach.
Damn.
What a fucking bitch.
And she was just fine. Dude, like, I'm like, It was. I saw this story going in a different direction.
Yeah.
You rarely ever paint a woman in a bad light.
Right.
And I was
even when
going
she's
there.
Even when she's a shithead.
Yes.
You don't think it's going to be her.
I was like, oh, he's going to go fucking
ballistic.
Ballistic, and he's going to kill her and the kids. Like, I just saw him as the person that would fucking end everybody, the man that can't deal with his cheating wife,
Yeah.
And it totally blindsided me.
She remains in prison fully unremorseful, like just totally like,
wow,
yeah.
Fuck,
just totally like, I didn't do a single thing wrong here. It's
what?
fine. Yeah, she's really, really, really terrible person.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
So he really did have like reason to believe that she was just the fucking worst.
Yeah, so like there were some mental health assessments of her. Obviously, when you kill your children, like of course they like, is she legally able to stand trial? Like, what happened here? They were like, no, nothing. She never showed a sign of violence before this. She never had signs of mental health issues before this.
Right.
Like, she, I don't even think he thought, like, he knew that she was going to make their life miserable and that she was capable of doing that. Right. Clearly, that's why he stayed.
Yeah, because he knew her. He probably, you know what? Like, sometimes you hear men like say, oh, I can't divorce her because, XYZ reason. Right. But this dude had every reason to believe it.
Yeah. And then she did it.
And then she fucking did it.
And then she did it.
Yo, that's wild. I was not expecting this from you.
I kept being like, I don't know. I don't want, I hate these kind of stories. I really hate these kind of stories. But I'm like, it's so wild that it's just like, I had to tell this story.
Yeah,
like,
but it came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
It's like, those commercials where you're like driving.
Yeah.
Or like in a movie where you're driving and like they're talking.
I hate that.
They're talking and all of a sudden a fucking car hits them.
I hate that.
It's the fucking most shocking thing.
Yeah.
That's what you just did to us. Yeah, I was not seeing that coming.
I mean, could you
all.
imagine him though, like just sleeping in the basement and just waking up to screaming? And
the mother-in-law screaming.
And finding his children dead. Like, I don't blame him for never wanting the trauma associated around sleep of like,
oh my God,
not being able to sleep because you're afraid of what you're going to see when you wake up is so dark, is so fucking dark. Like,
also they were little, 7 and 3. Oh my
God! And then I read a letter that the school sent out because he was in first grade, and it was like basically being like, hey, one of your 7-year-old child's classmates was murdered by their mother.
Oh my God.
And like, here's how we're going to handle it and here's how you should handle it. And it was so like, it's just like, that's the thing about true crime that for me, that is like the shock waves of how it like reverberates. Is that the word I want to say? Reverberates into the community. Yes, it affects the father and the in-laws and the nieces and nephews and cousins. But then you're like, and all his little classmates,
the teachers,
yes, all of the the school bus driver, the neighbors. Then people were coming forward and being like, "Oh, he rides the bus with my son," or "Oh, he played at my house," and they seem like such a perfect family. They seem like so, he's got a great job, and she's a stay-at-home mom, and like the pictures of these children.
Oh no, you're pulling out your phone.
I'm gonna show you.
That happened at my school where one of our workers got killed by her husband and her children attended our school, and it was the absolute worst. Her mom was a crossing guard and her children attended our school, and she was one of our workers, and she was murdered by her husband, and we all had to be like briefed on it and how to deal with the children. It was tough.
That is really tough because it's just really like bad. Yeah, I just don't have words for it because it's like, so this is, these are the two children.
Oh, they were just the sweetest babies.
Tyler and Charlie.
Oh, that's so sad.
I mean, they just look like, just like this button of a family.
Just your average next door neighbors.
Yeah.
With little kids.
Yeah.
He sounded like the most reasonable person.
Oh my God, yeah. You're just like, dude. And that's why, like, when people were sort of like, man, this is fucked. This is fucked, right? And, the post got taken down off Reddit, and then they got put back up on Reddit. And, like, when you read the third update, because I read all the comments and stuff, and they're all archived in the show notes. You can read all the comments and things. And some were nicer than others, and some were whatever. But the moderator, who doesn't usually comment, they just sort of, like, watch the post. Yeah. They had commented and been like, hey, like, I wouldn't normally do this, but I think it's important to be like, they were discussing mental health, and they were discussing, like, how actually the most dangerous time for somebody in a domestic violence situation is when they're about to leave. And this is very common in, abusive relationships, is when they're trying to leave that something violent happens. They wanted to, remind people, like, seek help. Don't try to do this on your own. It's really, really dangerous. And this is a good example as to why it's really dangerous. And it was just a lot to take in. Some of the other podcasts I listened to cover this sort of, when you read the show notes of them, were like, Reddit post gone wrong, and, man seeks advice and it goes tragically wrong. I don't think it had anything to do with the Reddit post.
Absolutely not.
No, the Reddit stuff came out after she was already, the children were dead. Like, it wasn't even, he should have divorced her. He should have got a lawyer.
He took the appropriate steps to get out of that marriage.
Not for nothing, but from the looks of these pictures, there's, like, really nothing he could have done to preemptive, like, to get ahead of this situation.
Yeah.
Obviously I wasn't there, but she does not look like there is a single thing wrong with her.
No, yeah.
Also, there's a possibility that he did not disclose all of what she's done.
Sure, yeah.
As far as what her real personality was, which is why he stuck it out for another year and a half. He may have been
scared of her
and known that she was really capable of doing very evil things.
Yeah.
And because of that, even though he didn't fully disclose that, because of that, he stayed on. Not just because, she's kind of bitchy.
And I think he does a pretty good job of portraying how vindictive she was going to be and how manipulative she... And just with the few words that he does say. Mm-hmm. Almost, so, like, what else is behind the surface?
Right. It's almost like he was... I don't even know how to describe it, but, like, he was just, like, being very on the surface with her. So you're like... Oh, please, dude. Yeah. Like, it's not going to be that bad.
Yeah.
But maybe he was not observant of how deeply, how deeply mentally ill she was.
Yeah.
And maybe he was observant and didn't want to say it. He didn't want to make her look that bad.
Or that he was scared in a way that's like, hey, man, I'm going to fucking just... when he catches her sending those pictures again, he's like, you know what? I didn't believe her. But, like, I'm just not going to rock the boat because she's just going to make my life so miserable.
Yeah,
it's like
but how many... You know what? Like, for every guy that complains about his wife, how many times do we say, oh, come on, guy, it's not that bad. You know what I'm saying?
I don't think that was the case here.
To, like, when guys complain about their women, we tend to be like, okay, what did you do?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Right. Because it's so far and few between. Unfair, it's usually the man that's cheating. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, right.
But it's not always like that.
No, it's not always like that. And and this is a very good example of a woman being the abuser in this situation. Yes. Like, we don't know everything that happened, but clearly he knew that she was rotten enough to make his children's lives miserable if he left.
Right.
So he didn't. And like
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
I truly believe there was more behind
he underplayed that.
He underplayed that.
Yeah,
absolutely.
100%.
Yes. Oh my God.
This story just like sometimes in the middle of the day I just like was thinking about it. I'm like, God, I gotta talk about this story because it's just so dark and so out of left field and just really.
And the kids were
they're so cute and they're babies.
Yeah.
7 and 3 years old.
And it just looked like the typical young family.
Yeah.
It looked
He's 30 years old and she was 29.
Oh my God.
So what he's 31 and 30. Come on.
So sad. So if you haven't
if you're still here
and you haven't like shut us off because you were like, man, fuck this girl. I guess we're common law married now.
Yep.
We're spouses. I owe you half of everything that I own.
No.
Hopefully we'll see you next week with 3 of your friends. Remember, there's always got to be 3 of you. I want to remind you that we have past episodes. Mm-hmm. Porco, the other white meat. There's a ton of them. There's just They're all laced with puns.
Yeah.
Just like our pineapples are laced with cocaine.
Yes.
They're all laced with
Also,
puns.
if you're not part of our Facebook group, you do not get that reference.
You don't. We'll hopefully see you next week with 3 of your friends. Remind them of past episodes, too. They can catch up on all of the episodes. There's about 100 of them. More than 100 of them.
More than 100.
Yes. And you can support us or you will get cursed. That's it. I have laid down the law.
That's a promise.
I will put a curse on you and your whole family if you don't
It's now
support
been
us.
extended to your family.
Yes. And then next week, if you still don't support us, it's your coworkers. Wait, shouldn't it be like distant people
Extended
and then
family?
Yeah.
Oh, right.
Yes.
Outward threat then
Outward threat.
Yeah.
Yes. This week, I'm cursing your coworkers.
They might want that.
They might want that. Shit.
No, your work besties.
Your work wife.
Your work wife,
right.
your work husband,
Perfect.
your work bestie.
The person who makes your day bearable.
That's right.
That's right. They're done for.
You're going to get all of the extra projects.
Yep.
You're going to get all of the extra work.
That's right.
None of the credit.
That's right.
It's
They're
going
gonna
to
get a
go to that
promotion.
person you hate.
That's right.
Next week, it'll be your family. I'm coming for them.
That's right.
So, subscribe and review.
Somebody just bought us 5 glasses of wine.
It's the cursing.
Oh, shit.
It's happening. It's working.
Who was it?
It's a very lucky person. Somebody who's about to be very lucky.
They're blessed.
They're blessed.
5 glasses of wine.
Wow. Thank you for all the laughs. I love you, bitches. 3 purple hearts.
Wow. Who is it?
Person named Veronica.
Oh. Thanks, Veronica. Ooh, 5 glasses of wine. That's great.
Listen.
Not that you need it. Get you a sober up cake.
I need 5 glasses of coffee.
Yeah.
So, she got us 3 glasses. She bought us 3 coffees to sober me up.
That's right. That's exactly what you need.
5 fucking stars only. I'm
That's
grabbing
right.
you by the neck right now. You can connect with us on all of the medias. All of them, except for Reddit.
Yeah.
I'm scared of Reddit. If you want to give us a review, here's a good sample. All right, here. This is like if you're at the supermarket and you come across our little booth.
Yeah,
This is a sample.
Perfect.
Of what we're looking for.
This is exactly what we're looking for.
5 stars. Title: A Feast for the Ears. The Crime Diner podcast, formerly Wine Diner Storytime, has it all. Fantastic hosts. We like to think so. Great banter and humor when appropriate. And sometimes when it's not appropriate.
Sometimes when it's inappropriate.
Thought-provoking and detailed stories told by Dana and Nydia. No Cindy there.
Wait for it.
As well as some awesome food served up by Cindy. Definitely wouldn't equate awesome with our food.
Why?
You and me. You and me?
Oh, not our food.
Yeah.
No.
The name may have changed, but the ingredients are still ...
That's adorable.
I'm
Sorry, I didn't open it all the way.
Something. You fill in the blanks. That's your homework. The name may have changed, but the ingredients are still, and you fill in the rest.
Perfect.
All of the praiseworthy words that you have for us, we are accepting of.
That's an adorable review, actually. I really like that.
That
Absolutely.
was from across the pond.
Oh, my
I
goodness.
love it. So
Why
it's somebody.
clever.
From Scotland.
Oh my
gosh.
God. We have listeners in Scotland.
Yes, bitch.
I mean,
Yes, bitch.
check you out next week. And remember, do not get taken to the second location. Be good or be good at hiding a body. Cheers. Welcome to the Crime Diner, home of the satire. Can I take your order?
Perfect.
Nailed it.
That was
All of them.
terrible. Did that sound right, or do I need to do it again?
No, that was good.
All right. Last week on the Crime Diner, we shared the story
Oh,
of...
wait. Although when they do say that from Keenan and Kel, is that what you're getting at?
Yeah.
From Keenan and Kel? He says it like kind of like a stoner. Like, welcome to the crime.
All right, so
Diner.
should I say it again?
Yeah, go for it.
Welcome to the Crime Diner, home of the Crime
Slow down, slow down.
All right. Welcome to the Crime Diner, home of the... Nope. Maybe I just shouldn't do it.
You got it.
Welcome to the Crime Diner, home of the satire. Can I take your order? Does that
Perfect.
sound right?
Yeah, that was better. Yeah, it was much
That was way better.
way better. Yeah.
Yeah.
Really?
You got it.
One more time?
Go for it if you want to.
Welcome to the Crime Diner, home of the satire. Can I take your order? Dude, that doesn't sound good. Should I do it again?
Go for it one more time.
Okay.
Slow down.
All right. Welcome to the Crime Diner, home of the satire. Can I take your order?
Perfect.
Nailed it.